Shalom and God bless you. This is Reverend Ndindi, and welcome to a prophetic message touching on Kenya's 2027 general election. The test of a true prophet is whether what he says in God's name comes to fulfillment. The Bible says in Deuteronomy 18:22, whenever a prophet speaks in my name and the prediction is not fulfilled, then I have not spoken it. The prophet has presumed to speak it, so you need not to fear that prophet. In Daniel 2 verse 21, the Bible says, God controls the course of world's events. He removes kings and sets up other kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to scholars. The nation of Kenya and our people are extremely dear to the heart of Jehovah God, and anyone privileged to serve at any position should handle the responsibility therein carefully, diligently, and in total fear of God, because the God who put King Saul as the first king of Israel aired in his eternal wisdom and foreknowledge prepared King Saul's replacement in the name of the youngest son of Jesse, who was David. That is the reason when Prophet Samuel kept praying and crying for King Saul to change and remain in kingship, God was categorical in 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse number 1, where he said, how long will you grieve over Saul, since I have rejected him from being king over Israel? Fill your own with oil and go. I will send you to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have selected a king for myself among his sons. Friends, in 2020, when President Uhuru Kenyatta showed serious indication that he was going to support Raila for presidency, God sent me to him with a message: kindly don't manage your succession. At the same time, God gave me another prophetic message to then Deputy President Ruto, and that he would be the 50th president of the Republic of Kenya, and that the theme for 2022 election was the Hustler's Moment. I wrote a book entitled The Same Hustler's Moment, and I handed it over to the then Deputy President and now President almost 1.5 years before the 2022 general election. Those who will be watching this video, before you wear your tribal and preferred candidate lenses for presidency in 2027 general election, go through all my above prophecies and see whether there is any that never came to be true. I will respect your critique. I will respect your descending sentiments, but kindly note, this prophecy must come true. Why? Because it is God who has given it. Dear Kenyans, this is what the sovereign Lord God says about Kenya's 2027 general election. It will be a high-stake election. It will be a voted election too. And lastly, our results will be highly contested. But the ultimate win will be granted to the people of Kenya. For God says, I have seen the trouble my people have suffered, and I have heard their cries when the slave master acted them. I am concerned about their pain. God has seen, God has heard, and God is concerned of the pain of Kenyans. For that reason, 2027 will be God with the Kenyans on one side and the taskmasters on the other. Let us wait and see a battle between creator and a creature, and then see who will win it. In 2022 general election, the theme was Hustler's Moment. God told me to tell Kenyans and the world that the 2027 Kenya general election, the theme will be the Mandela moment. God doesn't hide his winning strategy to the people who are interested and willing to be placed by him in positions of leadership. But equally, those people who God targets for leadership must play their part and fall keenly while playing as per the divine script. Failure to do that will only postpone God's action date, but will never ultimately thwart God's plan. What is the Mandela's moment in Kenya's 2027 general election? These friends will be the come together of selfless Kenyan leaders who appreciate the fact that the time to end the suffering of Kenyans have come. And this will translate to the Mandela moment of one-term presidency, strictly 5 years to lay the foundation of new Kenya that is free from corruption, tribalism, nepotism, where the sons and daughters of nobody will sit at the table of power and decision and opportunities and grant the forgotten Aslas Covenant a new lease of life. Aslas Covenant was not President Ruto's slogan to win 2022 general election, but a divinely signed and sealed promise by God to Kenyans. God will oversee its fulfillment in totality. Who will be the Kenyan Mandela for the Mandela moment? On the 24th of February 2023, hardly 5 months inside President Ruto's government, God in his eternal wisdom sent me with a 17-point letter to His Excellency Ndindi Nyoro, then the chair of the Budget and Appropriation Committee and MP for Kiara at his KICC office. And Ndindi Nyoro can confirm this. Key on the message was that God had ordained him to be the caretaker of the Aslas Covenant with immediate effect. This was very early in the current administration life. But God had noted that the pain of Aslas no longer mattered to those who came to power and to office riding on the solution to the Aslas suffering. The next key point to that letter was that the next occupant of the presidency of the Republic of Kenya from Mount Kenya region would be His Excellency Ndindi Nyoro, and that God would make it happen despite all odds. The ordained person to lead the 2027 Mandela moment in Kenya for only one term, which is 5 years, is His Excellency Ndindi Nyoro. Thereafter, in 2032, he will support a person already named and identified by God from the larger Western and the Luo region. This is God's divine winning script in 2027. If the person seeking the presidency or even the person seeking presidency for this nation in 2027 fail to heed the details of this prophecy, this is what will happen, and watch the space. President Ruto will win with a slight majority. And after Ruto's second term, God will work His own way to make His Excellency Ndindi Nyoro the next president from Mount Kenya region. This message to the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. You now know who God has ordained from your region to lead this nation. Kindly join God in fulfilling His winning plan. If you don't, God will actualize it without you on board. God keep you healthy and sound as you watch the words of this prophecy come true. Shalom and God bless.